Hi there. It's been a while. Busy pandemic quarantine time. Now I'm free. I'm gonna go biking. Uh, I'm doing this video regarding financial independence. I've been listening to podcasts regarding financial independence, the FIRE movement, and some people love the FIRE movement. Some hate it because they said it's impossible. But early retirement for me is possible. You know, I retired 55, and I think I'm financial independent. You know, I'll survive from my investment. I'll have enough income, and also with good planning, it's possible. So these are the tips that I can give today. As I mentioned before, you gotta know how much you need, you know, and you gotta sit down and figure out how much living expenses you're gonna need for your retirement. You know, that's including healthcare, food, utilities, and some discretionary expenses that you want to do. Excuse for the blur, you know, the lighting here in the garage is kind of suck. Anyway, some will have more discretionary than the living expenses. You know, that will affect your planning for early retirement. So you really have to write it down, how much you need, how much you want to spend before you decide to retire. But early retirement, most of the people under the FIRE movement and FI blogs, you know, they were frugal in a way that your life is not a sacrifice. You know, you're enjoying life, at the same time you are frugal. You know, you watch what you spend and you live within your means, and you just have to be smart with money. You know, you save, invest. Don't leave it in the bank or some kind of low interest account, unless you have an emergency fund that stays on a secured low interest account, you know, like money market or savings account, so you can touch it in case of emergency. And don't let anybody, the third rule that I've been learning, you know, from one of the guys in the blog, say, don't let anybody have an access on your investment accounts or your finances, even easy access. I mean, you know, there can be the beneficiary, but they don't have an access to spend your money. Because no matter how smart you are in investing, and if somebody's spending it, like if your wife is a shopaholic, always online and Amazon, and you know, they don't really care about early retirement. All they want is spend. You know, that's what they meant. Don't give them access to spend your finances, or else all your hard work is gone. You know, it's going to be down the drain. Another thing is, you know, stay with the bucket approach. The bucket approach is, I think, the best, especially nowadays with this pandemic. The bucket approach, you know, a lot of people are talking about this. You know, you'll have cash, stocks, bonds. The cash part is so important during the pandemic. You know, when the stock market went down, you know, people went crazy. They were selling it because they need some money and to live on, and also they panic. But if you have the cash to spend, you know, which is good from 6 to 1 year for pre-retirement, and if you're retired, you know, make sure you have at least 2 to 3 years, if you can afford it, to put away. 2 to 3 years amount of living expenses. So when the stock market go crazy, you just use that cash. You don't sell to have an income. And you remember, when you're selling when the market is down, you're losing the paper amounts. You are losing the paper amount, and you'll never get it back. I'll continue on the tips regarding the financial independence steps. As a review, like we talked about, is you save and invest. Save and invest, don't forget that. And think about long term. The long term is that's why they said, when you invest, you put it away, you sit on it and watch it grow. You don't save and spend. Regarding the amount of stocks that you wanna invest, make sure you invest only the amount that you are comfortable with. That will make you sleep at night and not worry about if the stock market is going down or going up. You can sleep at night and say, my money's gonna make money. I don't have to touch it for the next 20, 30 years. And another thing for the goal for financial independence is you avoid debt. Debt is the worst enemy you ever had during planning for early retirement or financial independence. When you retire, you have to have zero debt, zero mortgage payment, and also, again, follow the bucket system, the cash, stocks, and bonds. And like what I mentioned before, you live within your means. Don't compete with the Joneses. And again, in short, if your goal is early retirement and financial independence, have a goal. Stick to your plan. Know how much you need. That's the most important planning for early retirement and financial independence. And also, it helps where you want to retire. A low tax state, or you can move out of the country. That is becoming the most, not really the most, but it's becoming popular for early retirees to move outside the United States because the expenses are a lot lower. It's like me. I moved from US to the Philippines, and whatever the dollar, it goes far, 40, 50 times more. And I can sleep at night. I know I'm not gonna run out of money, and you just feel like no matter what happened to the stock market or the economy, you'll be fine. And for those people who have questions or comment, just hit me with a comment, subscribe. I know it's been a while I posted, but if you have comment and topics you want me to talk about, just put a comment there and I will make a video and answer your questions, or write on the comment. I will answer you right there. So just watch from a future video and subscribe. Ding, 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 ding. And early retirement, yeah.